Vicki, I love the philosophy that you bring, and I know you and I have spoken, previously as well. Um, the question I have is a lot of companies will view like voice of the employee meetings and as employee engagement, and that's enough. But are you seeing companies that'll kind of throw that spaghetti against the wall and they're not getting the results they expect? What's the importance of the closed loop part of the communication piece? That really is that kind of like a driver for making sure that you keep that engagement and that you keep the wheels kind of moving in the right direction.
Right. Great question. Great question, Mark. So managing employees is just like being in a relationship, right? With another human being. And so you want to be able to build that trust. Well, if all you're doing is once a quarter town halls, you're going to have a couple loud mouths in there, right? That are going to ask questions, but you're not going to have that continuous feedback. So it is a concentrated effort to totally re-engineer how you manage your business. And you literally have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You have to start from scratch. It's town halls where I say, you can ask me anything except how old I am or how much I weigh. And if they don't ask how they get a raise, how they get off the phone, how they get promoted, I say, how come no one asks why you're not getting a raise? Let me tell you how I can give you a raise. And I just get it dead on. So I've built the trust with my organizations. So town halls, fireside chats in small groups. You can go into their team meetings. You can do praise calls. You can ask your boss to call 2 people in a week and praise somebody in your team. Now they're getting, maybe the manager that's your equal, you're doing praise calls. The person upstairs is going to, give them a call. So you do those as well. You're doing surveys, you're doing videos and feeding that back. Now you're just building this huge loop. And now the walls come down. And this is where you really get a lot of information, because if you don't do it that way, and I've heard this for years, if you haven't built the trust and they trust that you're going to be there and continually communicate with this feedback loop, they're not going to be even honest on the surveys because they know you can track their IP address. And so I've heard this a million times if I've heard it once, right? It's like, I'm not telling them the truth. Are you kidding? Because they're going to track me down. They're going to fire me. And then if Bob and another team gets fired, well, Bob was outspoken. He must have got fired. And he could have just left, right? Didn't say anything. Exactly. And people suddenly think now they're on a firing spree and it goes viral. So you have to keep that up, and you have to use multiple communication channels, just like a customer, where they're at. Chat them, email them, leave them voice messages. Some companies—
That's a culture. That's the remote culture that you're creating now, that people know that you care. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you very much, Vicki.
You bet.